Hello friends, it is very early in the morning on Sunday, September 27th. It's about 4 o'clock. We're back at the pet emergency place. Harley's okay. We're just doing the 12-hour fast like the doctor asked for, and doing her a recheck of her x-ray to see if there's any foreign objects in there that she might have eaten that might be giving her the stomach and digestion issues. She thankfully has not thrown up in a while, probably 24 hours now, which is great. She did have some diarrhea last night, which was expected from what the doc saw on the initial x-ray, which is fine, and that was expected. But here's what I have learned, and here's what has not been expected through this whole thing, is that I work in healthcare. I also started my healthcare career in urgent care admitting. So I worked in a urgent care and did all the check-in process, and just being in healthcare, you kind of know how it works, right? This is the second time now where I've had to basically tell the person on the other end that I'm not arguing, but the questions that I'm asking are simply to gain understanding, and with some clarification. Both of these people that I've spoken to now, one yesterday and then one just now, and I was asking basic questions. I deal with patient complaints all the time, and so just trying to understand the process of how they are working or what is best, or just talking it through with someone, makes you really realize that, at least when I'm taking the patient complaints, like most of the time patients just want to be heard. And most of the time they just want to know that someone is listening to them and can understand what they are going through or have been through, or whatever their general concern is. But I think that this has really shed light on that fact, because number one, I think I'm pretty okay on the phone. I don't think I got upset with anyone. I don't think I was demanding. I don't think anything of the like, but they instantly went down this path of, just like if Harley was in distress or whatever, she would be put to the front line. I totally understand that. I'm just trying to think that doctor said 12 hours and now you're telling me it might be a 2-hour wait. If like, what's it like on a Sunday morning usually? If they would have told me just, you never know what happens on a Sunday because none of the veterinary clinics are open. I get that. I'm not in animal medicine, but I can understand the just the general thought of, you don't know what's going to be walking in that door, and that's what urgent care is for, and emergency medicine. This is basically the pet ER room. And I understand that my dog, having a recheck of her x-ray with her being fasted, is not at the top of everyone's priority if something else were to come in. I totally get that. However, can I just be spoken to like a normal, concerned parent? 100%. Again, I was not escalated. There's no need to de-escalate me. Just trying to ask some clarifying questions. And I think a lot of the times, and maybe perhaps this is the big difference between animal medicine and human medicine, is that the factor here is I can't ask Carly how she's doing and she will tell me. She won't even give me a crying, or like, she can moan, I guess, if she's in pain, but she can't actually be spoken to and me get some answers so that I can make decisions, being her mom. And I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges too. And I feel that if you are in animal medicine, that has to be taken into account too. All I know is my dog is almost 3. She's been vomiting and has had diarrhea for 4 days now. Yesterday at this, well, a little bit earlier at this time, so about 3 in the morning on Saturday, she woke up. She had already thrown up a couple hours earlier. She woke up again, and her vomit had blood in it, and it was dark blood, which from Google and from also talking to the doc yesterday tells us that where the disruption, where it's coming from, the color of the blood, it was not streaky, it was not bright red, it was dark red. It was all of her bile basically was this color. If you think of a very dark viscous wine, that might be the best way to characterize it, because when I went to go wipe it up on the paper towel, it was very translucent, so there wasn't a lot of blood in there, but it was all discolored. And yeah, it freaks me out. You don't want to see your kid throwing up blood. I mean, come on, she's small. She's under, well, now she's most definitely under 9 pounds, but you know, for her to have thrown up probably 10 a dozen times since early Wednesday morning, I'm sorry, that's concerning. And then for it to have stopped and then started up again in that fashion, super concerning. I totally thought that we were on the upswing because her poops had, it's a lot of information, I know, her poops had gone from like a loose pudding style to a soft serve style on Friday, and so that was a sign that maybe it was all working itself out. I had given her probiotics that we had gotten from the doc months ago, just because every now and then she does have a little diarrhea, and that is concerning. The doc yesterday pointed out that she's a very young dog, so for her to have these GI issues every now and then, I might want to talk to like an internal medicine vet or something like that, just because she's got a lot of life to live still, which I totally get. And again, someone who likes to understand the whole process of things, those were the questions that I was asking. At no point was I raising my voice. At no point did I go into mom mode and demand why wasn't my, kid being seen. Just asking questions like, okay, I hear that you have, your doc is going into an abdominal surgery right now. You just told me that there's a pet coming from Ellensburg that you don't know what the case is or what the level is there. I get that. But when I'm here at 3:45 wanting an x-ray that the doc ordered, okay, to be fair, she probably didn't order it. She put it in the notes, though, because you can never guarantee if someone's coming back. But if I'm here and you're telling me that there's one animal in front and one on the way, but you don't do appointments, I don't know what that looks like. And for me, if someone were calling me on the phone, I'd probably be like, I can't say for sure. However, Sunday mornings, just because of the nature of the weekend, when I got here, this is what the text said, when I got here at 9 p.m. yesterday, our parking lot was full. And which is normally what happens on a Sunday due to the nature of the vets being closed on the weekends. I can understand that. But when I'm also trying to glean a little bit of information on, is it best to wait? If I go, and can I leave her in the queue, or do I physically need to be here? Just all those little pertinent questions. It's okay to just answer, because I can follow directions very easily, but I need to know what those directions are, which is why I'm here at it's now 4:11, but which is why I'm here 12 hours after I picked a Harley up, because you said in 12 hours after she fasted, come back for an x-ray recheck. That's why I'm here. I can follow directions. I understand that a lot of people cannot. I do understand that. But when we're instantly going to this place of not being kind and not being understanding and compassionate is where I think a lot of things go wrong, you know, and I think through all of this, I've learned that I need to take that extra step and just remind myself of that when I'm talking to patients. And honestly, I hope that the pet emergency services here in Yakima, that they get grounded in some kind, whatever it takes, whether it's just, you know, I fully plan on writing some kind of either a thank you card or a thank you email or something after all of this, because number one, I'm grateful that they're here. Totally grateful. I'm very grateful for Paola, who was the vet tech here yesterday, and she was so kind, and she was very kind through everything. But I hope through my efforts that they might see, like, you can give someone the benefit of the doubt. Like, all I needed was the benefit of the doubt when you're giving me this information. Because number one, I've never been in this situation with an animal. Number two, it's very early in the morning. I get that everyone's tired. But at the same time, when someone's just asking some questions to get some understanding, it doesn't hurt to extend that little bit of human kindness, especially since we're dealing with animals who can't speak to us and who aren't feeling well, which is why we're here. So, thank you for listening to my rant. If you've made it this far, please let me know if you have any animals down in the comment box, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys. Hi, it's me again. Hello. They have taken Harley in for the x-rays. It's 4:21 now. And I guess it just dawned on me as well that, I mean, I don't know which animals that they've been tending to as far as severity, or if someone had just gone off on that girl about whatever it is. So I get that. Totally get that. And I guess this is probably just me having a little grace check myself, in that I don't know what they've been going through either. So had that clarity of mind in the last 10 minutes. But yes, they took her in. They're very nice people so far. And I totally get it. It sounds like they only have one doctor on, at least during the night, which totally makes sense as far as operations are concerned. But again, just some understanding would have been nice and given in a way that was nice. If you're in Yakima, I believe that the pet emergency services, and they are on, I think we're on 4th and Chestnut here, right across from El Portone and like the Weimar area over here. But I think that they're open most all the time. I know that they were open 24 hours yesterday, which was Saturday. So basically, if you're here, what they're doing is you pull up, and it sounds like, I guess you can call in and see what all is happening here. At least this is twice now that they were a little shocked that I was just here, I guess, which is how I thought it worked. But I guess you can call in and talk to someone and at least let them know that you're coming, which makes sense if it's a severe thing. Basically you park, and there's parking on both sides, and you give them a call. They will do your intake. They'll make sure financially that you're all set. You do have to pay up front. and everything. Oh, she's coming back out. That can't be for me. That was too quick. Nope, it is. Hold on. Okay, so they just came out. They took basically another intake from me that she hasn't vomited for over 24 hours now. She did have 2 things, you know, all the things I covered already. So x-rays have been done. Doc's going to look at them, and then I should be getting a call soon. But anyway, so yeah, you park, you call, they'll do your intake. They do take care credit, thank goodness, which if you don't have care credit, you should just get that. It's one of those services where if it's a dollar amount, and I think 6 months is the most. I don't know if it goes higher than that, but if it's a certain dollar amount, you have so long to pay off the entire balance interest free, but you don't have to do it all up front, which is nice, unless you have a bevy full of dollars set aside. But so I would suggest getting care credit. So I did that. Yesterday's event took about $880, I want to say, and I can imagine this is going to be an extra couple hundred for the x-ray recheck. But again, I don't have to put Harley through college. I don't have to pay for a wedding, a car, braces, anything like that. I have thought about getting pet insurance though, and this makes me think even more so because of what the doctor said yesterday about her being so young and having these GI issues. So again, we might visit that and see, because this is now the second event for my fur babies this year that is over $1,000. But again, thank you for the care credit, so highly recommend having that. But yeah, you call, they'll do your intake. You have to sign some forms basically saying that you will pay the amount on site. They actually took my card yesterday and checked the balance and all that before they even took Harley. So I'm sure that they've had some issues with people paying their emergency room fees just like in real life. So they do that, and then yeah, you just wait. They come out, the vets will take, or the vet techs will take your dog in, and they call you back. The one thing I will say is that they should, and probably they do, and maybe they were just all busy, was I called several times yesterday when I was here to let them know I was here to check in basically, and there was a busy tone. So, and it could have just been like multiple people calling in, but I'm sure that when people are here with their animal in distress, that's the last thing that they want is a busy tone or a not available tone. I think when I came back in the afternoon to pick her up, I think I probably called 6 times before I actually got through. So operations check. Anyways, but yeah, it's a small building. It's well lit. I feel very safe here. Of course, I have my doors locked and all that. But yeah, overall, it's here if you need it, Yakimanians. So we'll wait and see what the doc says. Okay, so it is 4:55 now. I just got a call from Dr. O'Malley, who is very nice, by the way. Love that lady. Very calming on the phone. You would never be able to tell that she had just gotten out of doing some abdominal surgery on a couple different kiddos or patients. So basically, Harley, the x-ray came out clean, which is great. Her blood work yesterday came out clean, which is great. They are running a test with her sample blood that she has already given for cortisol. So what the doctor is kind of thinking, since everything is looking fine, but yet she's having these symptoms, is that perhaps Harley is not, what did she, her body is not producing stress leukocytes, which is something that our body does when it is in a stressed out mode, distressed, whatever. And I guess it helps us cope. I have not read anything about this yet. So, but basically she was pointing towards, if that is the case, Harley might have what's called Addison's disease. And that basically means that her body, I think in a nutshell, will take on stress in this form. Like if you get stressed out, you know, some of us get diarrhea. That's totally normal. She says maintenance wise for Addison's disease, long-term would just look like doing some physiology maintenance. So giving her a little bit of prednisone, and I guess our bodies make prednisone naturally to a certain degree, since her body isn't looking like it might do it, if it is the case. We're giving her just a little bit of prednisone to help with that, so that she doesn't get gassy, or you know, her body doesn't get so stressed out when she is stressed out, which I guess kind of makes sense. I mean, if your body has no way of dealing with that naturally, then, you know, you're naturally going to feel the physical effects of this. And since everything else pointed to that blood work was fine, x-rays were fine, you know, so it was good to know. Again, she's going to run that test with the blood that was left, and then I should get the H-Meister back and we can go along on our way. But at least we'll kind of know what is there, and I can start doing some Google reading on it, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so that's it. Okay guys, real quick, an update on Harley. So the added on blood test for the cortisol came back clean. Her x-ray, her recheck x-ray that was fasted came back clean. So I'm kind of at this standstill of like, what the hell do I do now? Because there's no answers pointing anywhere, which is like the worst case scenario. I mean, I'm glad that there's no foreign body in there. I'm glad that there's, you know, all the labs are, you know, fine. But at the same time, it's leaving that little thing of like, well, what's up with her? Why did this happen? So I will continue to monitor her. She is doing chicken and rice, and I'm integrating her food back in, which she's not upset about, just because the girl loves chicken and rice. However, just because she is so small and moving forward in life, and she's very young, what that looks like and all of that. So I'll probably make a follow-up vet appointment in probably the next couple months just to go chat with them. They're going to the pet emergency room. We'll be sending over all of those records to her vet, and so they'll at least be there. And she's gotten back to normal. We had a really good night's sleep last night, which is the first night in 4 nights. I think I was trying to count how many hours I would actually say that we slept from Wednesday early morning at basically midnight, 1 o'clock Wednesday morning in the morning. And it's probably on both hands that I could count the hours. So last night was very much needed. I think that we went to bed at about 10 and woke up so we got a solid 8 hours, and I don't remember really waking up anytime during that, and neither did she, so that's good. But that's the update. She is getting back to normal. She is still barking at everything that comes across the front, so that's good that she is seemingly to get back to where she's at, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that was the update on her, and a little normalcy for a couple weeks should be good. So I'll see you later.